Hey PNG, Douglas from the PNG Recruiter here. So I look a bit different in this video, obviously because I got a haircut. The reason is because I got a haircut to go for a business meeting today. So fingers crossed, we'll be advertising some vacancies soon in the next coming days. That will be in a different video we will do. So keep an eye out for that. But we are doing this video as a part 2 to the Frieda River Project series. In the first part of the video series, we did a brief overview of the Frieda River Project, why we are doing the video about the Frieda River Project, and we gave some of the benefits that would be felt by the resource affected areas along the Frieda River Project, and that would be from my area, the Ambunti Drakikia district area, which is on the Sipik River. We would be a resource affected area, therefore I felt it was important for myself to do a video that broke those benefits down, as well as a brief overview of the project and why we are doing the video. So if you haven't watched the video yet, please go and check out the video. It's on our YouTube channel, and have a look. And if you have any comments whatsoever, please leave them under the video on our YouTube channel. And please go and subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. Like the video and share if it's something that you want to share with anyone on your social media channels, wherever they are. Okay, so in this video, it is a part 2 to that series, the Frieda River Project video series, where the PNG Recruiter will now go into the disadvantages of the Frieda River Project. Not necessarily, some disadvantages that could possibly happen should the Frieda River Project not go according to plan. And then we end it off with our own recommendation from the PNG Recruiter Limited for viewers to just see things from a different perspective. And if anybody cares, then they will pay attention to our recommendation, then hopefully it balances things out. So stay tuned for the recommendation at the end of the video. Before that, we'll get straight into the disadvantages that could possibly arise should the Frieda River Project come up and might not be managed as per the information that we are getting from the stakeholders invested in getting the project up and going. So I'll just start off. So one of the main disadvantages of the Frieda River Project would be the environmental risks, and this has a lot of people vested in environmental safety issues in the country and globally. This is something that they are very concerned about for a number of things, but in terms of what we want to detail in this video, some of the environmental risks that could potentially arise if the project is not managed well. There could be river contamination of the Sipik River, port tailings management that could cause contamination in the Sipik River, and biodiversity loss due to the river contamination from possible tailings mismanagement, and then could affect things such as deforestation. If that's not taken into consideration, we may lose our forests and untouched flora and fauna in untouched virgin environment. So the area where they are going into to set up this Frieda River mining project is like only a few can head in that direction. You probably it's in a very remote location. Okay, it will start a boost there. So you know, to have that up and going, they will need to clear the forests, the forestation around the area to set up the mine. And if not managed well, deforestation could occur where all the wild are not broken, and then all these animals or the ecosystem, or the plants and the insects that help create a living environment for animals and for the humans, like people in the area to hunt and find game and abus cooking kaikaya and bahat now, because ecosystem and bagara, it's all connected. You see, river contamination due to tailings mismanagement could affect the biodiversity in the river and outside of it as well on the land, causing deforestation, to clear the clearing of the trees and the forest around the mining area to create roads to the mine and to set up camps and facilities there, or the huge tailings dam that they're going to build. All these construction works will obviously have a huge effect on the environment there and contribute to possible deforestation, but only if it's not managed well. And like we touched briefly on, long-term ecosystem damage, everything that's connected, like in this cartoon animated movie called the Lion King, they call the circle of life. Okay, it's literally a circle of life that's happening in the forest over there, and if all these activities go in, they create an imbalance in the ecosystem, and could affect not only the plants and the animals there in the forest and in the river as well, but the people who live off the land there to survive, people within the area. So these are some of the disadvantages that could occur should the Frieda River mining project occur. Yeah, we know that the project managers are definitely working around the clock and they have got approvals from the relevant authorities like SEPA and all that to make sure that their processes are in line with the standards set by the PNG government, to make sure those things that we mentioned are not affected permanently. So yeah, but then this is the top environmental risk, top disadvantages, a disadvantage that could arise if not managed well, and could affect and could be a real disadvantage to the people along the Sipik River. That's one of the disadvantages, and first and foremost. Yeah, I mentioned earlier too that a lot of environmental groups and all that, they were concerned about its possible environmental damage to the environment. This is the number one thing that's got our people, or a certain portion of the people, disgruntled, and we got people saying stop Frieda River mine, ban Frieda River mine, and all that. So it's fair enough. Yeah, so that's why it's one of the motivating factors for us to do this video as well, and we need to respectfully point that out and show two sides of the coin for all of our viewers to take into consideration. So that's the first disadvantage that could arise due to the Frieda River Project coming into operation. And then the second one would be, I think we touched on that as well, threats to livelihoods, like my people, especially those along the Sipik River, starting from Frieda River and coming down from Sandan Province down to the Sipik Province through the river. There's a lot of villages living along the Sipik River, including mine at Ambunti, and going all the way down to all these other districts and villages along the Sipik River. Could definitely come into effect of losing their livelihoods if it's not managed in a safe manner towards the people and the environment. So if not managed well, one of the disadvantages, or the second disadvantage, would be threat to livelihoods. Specifically, in our first video, we touched on fishing, the gardening, the hunting, and our water sources, they come from the river. Water, we plus pull up in bucket and we plus using for drinking consumption and for cooking. Yeah, so if that is contaminated, where are we going to get where our people, my people, going to get clean drinking water sources? So that's a real possibility if it's not managed well. So it could definitely be a threat to livelihoods that need the river in natural condition to survive. So that's the second disadvantage that could arise should the Frieda River Project arise and be not managed well. Yeah, so that's kind of like a big one as well. That's got the environmental and human rights groups here talking about as well. So if not managed well again, this could happen, and it could happen people's livelihoods along the Sipik River. Environmental disruptions could also threaten or force food scarcity and traditional lifestyles. Or passing tumbuh na ya no bamba lusi. Suppose ono handling Frieda River Project good. Suppose affecting water source or Sipik River ya bagara kind of traditional customs and lifestyles like I said, we get our water and drinking source from the river, and for cooking and drinking and washing, cleaning, staying in a good condition and to be productive in the village along the Sipik River. So once that's affected in a negative manner, and how are people going to survive? So that's one of the disadvantages in relation to environmental disruptions and threats to livelihoods. And then we got negative health outcomes. People could be poisoned and cause death. And it's a real possibility. And considering the remoteness of the Sipik River, and like I mentioned in the first video, the part 1 of this Frieda River Project video series, we plus a bus. Now, we'll build the road going inside the place, and it's not even reaching our village. It's only halfway. The Yambi Avatip Road. I'm stopped riverbank here across from the Avatip village, big place here. They're yet to build it all the way to Ambunti. And the fact is, when they build it to Ambunti, and definitely over connecting Narto Road there, Bagolo Frieda River. So there will be accessibility via road and boat to the mine from the Sipik River, Sipik side, going to Frieda River, the Sandan Province side. So, we're in the bush, and health services is scarce. It takes a while for medical supplies services to get down there. There's a hospital down at Ambunti district here, but when people start, mass number of people start getting sick from possible contamination of the river. That's on a different level. This hospital, I believe it won't be able to handle the number of cases coming in caused by pollution of the river. So health outcomes, they will be seriously affected in a seriously negative manner if not managed well. If the mine pollution or tailings is not managed well. So those are all relating to threats to livelihoods and indirectly or directly in some sorts affecting environmental risks as well, like we mentioned earlier. So yeah, those are the two. That's environmental risks, threats to livelihoods, and all those come underneath these two. And then that's on the health and environmental side. Now you may touch low. Number 3 point there, and disadvantage for the Frieda River mining project coming into fruition and not managed well. It could give rise to increased social conflict and land disputes. So, and now I'm all line of place now. I'm all about start having land disputes because if you have access to land that's rightfully yours, you will definitely be part of the benefit sharing scheme, whatever that comes into play by the project managers at Frieda River Limited. So there will be a lot of people in the village, disputing over land disputes because they will come into play benefits, schemes, and if you are part of a clan and you have ownership of land and you have to be part of it to be legally eligible for benefits, financial or whatever benefits that may come. So yeah, that's going to give rise to benefits disputes, clan conflicts, and leadership struggles. People place or battle or see leadership position inside because it comes with financial incentives as well, and you have influence in those positions to sway whatever it is on a political and leadership level. Yeah, it's going to create a lot of power struggles over ownership of certain things like land. And then you got some clans or some groups will have inequality between communities, so there will be disputes on those sides as well. Obviously, the project is in Sundown province, so we have major benefit sharing, and definitely a giant portion of it will go to them. But as resource affected people along the Pacific River, they will have a say as well. So this is where one of the third disadvantage comes into play, where it gives increase in social conflict and land disputes. Yeah, so that's one of the third thing that's under the disadvantages that could arise should the Frieda River project come into play. So yeah, and obviously resource wealth can unite and divide our communities. So if done in a controlled manner that takes into consideration all parties' consents, I think it can come out in a good way. But if not managed well, this it's very volatile and could turn in a sour, bad, negative way. So yeah, I'm very certain that the project managers at Frieda River Limited are trying to, they've got the systems and plans in play to manage that. But yeah, let's hope that everything is done in a cordial manner should the mine come into operation. So that's the third one, social conflict and land disputes. And then we move on to the fourth disadvantage should the Frieda River mine come into operation. And that's risk of foreign dominance in issuing employment contracts or business contracts, you know. So that's the thing me like touching the legal or part 1, 2 of this video series is you know, businesses will be coming in, and you know, already we see a lot of expatriate-owned businesses coming into our country and making profits here, and but we need to have national content in terms of increase in national content in terms of business formation and enterprising along in that area should the mine come up. So there's going to be a lot of foreigners that will be interested to set up business, set up shop there to make money, profits, and therefore, you know, they're coming into the country with a lot of money, obviously, and our people, if not prepared, there will be a lot of contracts for business provisions to the mine being handed to these expatriates because they have the money, they have the experience, the business processes, and capital in play to, you know, start providing services that will benefit the mine's operations and all that. Some of the businesses we touched in part 1 too, so if not managed well as well, and not fully received by the people of that area, I'm a foreigner bakang setting shop up inside up here from Frieda River down to the Pacific River to really benefit from the mine operations, and our people could potentially be left out of the financial gains through setting up businesses and providing services through their businesses to the mine. So jobs going to expats is a real thing as well, but yeah, that's where human resource management comes in. They'll definitely have a plan in place to make sure that locals and nationals get a portion of the jobs. I think management roles definitely will need expatriate experience in there, but they shouldn't stay forever. They should just give the experience, the time and experience in molding and shaping the workforce from the local area and from around the country, the nationals especially, to go into those leadership positions, and then for them, the foreigners and expats, to transition themselves out of the work. But that won't happen if there's no proper HR policies and systems in place. So that's a process or a requirement for their HR management there to take on board and try to address in a professional manner. So, number 4, disadvantage of the Frieda River project is risk of foreign dominance in employment and service contracts. So yeah, jobs going to expatriates, business contracts going to expatriates, large contracts going to offshore businesses and local businesses being excluded is a real possibility. Also, if we want our foreign exchange to grow to a decent level, now price now goods and services will come down, we have to create businesses to be active participants inside the kind of project or second. So you got business and by you go inside make profit, create employment for our people. Now, all people like from the resource affected area or nationals or work underneath the business law, they get good benefits and money, and they invest and buy products from the community again, and it keeps the money inside the economy, and therefore it wealth creation, wealth generation within our people in our community, in our businesses, creates jobs and keeps money inside our businesses, and then it generates a lot of a positive economic outlook. And then by looking at foreign exchange now, I must start decrease now price of goods and services now. I must start come up on the scale level where it won't be as expensive like how it is now. But every day we go to the shops, so every once in a while we see prices of goods and services increasing. That's because there's not enough businesses doing major businesses like creating businesses to get contracts with government or mining projects like this one I'm talking about. So if we want to create, have a good, decent life, we need to create more businesses, and it creates more jobs for our people, managed by our people again, and then it keeps the money in the economy, and then it starts making goods and services prices drop. So it's basic economics here, but if I'm wrong, you're most welcome to correct me there. But that's a bit of something there in terms of economics, why there's a risk of foreign dominance in employment contracts and service provision contracts. So we need to keep an eye on that, and hopefully the mine has plans to help local businesses in the area to be active and major participants in wealth creation for the people in the Frieda River, Sanam Province, and East Peak River area. So that's that. So that's the fourth one. And then we touch on the fifth one. In the area too, one of the bad things about having so much cash going around in the economy is there's a lot of spending. And when there's a lot of spending now, and by the price over guanta. So I'm kind of saying inflation now. So lots of money in the economy will cause circulating in the economy or local economy in the area due to the mine projects arising and businesses doing business in that area. You'll have a cost of living increase. So like food, fuel, transport, healthcare services, education services, over the price here by increase. So that's where it needs to be analyzed and managed well, and that's where it's good for people like economists and accountants and people in the financial banking space. Here it creates another outlet for jobs where people in that space I mentioned there, they start giving advice to businesses now to tell them how to manage their cash right. If they do, then it will help with the overall economy, local economy there, to manage the increase in cost of living. So that's one of the effects that could arise, because if you're taking economics, you'll understand, or you understand what I'm talking about. So lots of money is circulating in the economy and could give rise to cost of living. And things like fuel, food, transportation, education, health services could be affected as well. So that's one of the fifth disadvantage of the Frieda River mining project coming into play. And then we've got probably the last one, and it's a big one, and we are seeing it across the country, not only in resource affected areas, but in the general population where urban townships are, in the rural areas as well, which is law and order pressures. So all this is something that come up here, like development coming and money being circulating in local economies, local businesses, and locals, and by giving increased law and order issues. So some of them, obviously alcohol abuse, which cause a lot of specific and separate issues again. Then you got increase in crime rate could increase, and then you got people creating illegal settlements along the Sipip River because all of them want to be close to the mine and experience what all the benefits the mine has to offer, and they won't necessarily be from the area. Old Bakamlo, the township from Wiwek and all the villages on the Sipik Highway, they might be setting up settlements there to be close to the mine's benefits and services that will be spinning off from the mine. So it's a real possibility. Illegal settlements could arise, and then stuff like gender-based violence. That's also connected to alcohol abuse and crime. Gender-based violence, it could spiral out of control if not handled well. So that's definitely one of the things that the mine will be looking through to try and create programs and projects around it to manage that, so the community doesn't destroy itself trying to have access to, or when they have access to all these profits being generated as and being shared to them as being resource affected areas along the Sipik River that's connected to the Frieda River mining project. So yeah, law and order issues could spiral out of control or increase, and yeah, all the stakeholders, so the government, the mine project managers, and community in Chalo area all need to be mindful of those possible increases in those sort of disadvantages that could arise, and yeah, hopefully, should the mine come into play, we don't see it go out of control. Yeah, all these issues that we mentioned. So just a recap, some of the disadvantages we pointed out are environmental risks, threats to livelihoods, social conflict and land disputes, risk of foreign dominance in employment and business contracts to the mine, increasing cost of living, and law and order pressures. Okay, so just touching on number 5 and 6, cost of living and increases in law and order pressures. There's a slight increase, but it's like not really numerous. I would say the number of cases in terms of law and order issues and cost of living pressures and all that. Expatriates in the area, I've heard that there's a couple of expatriates setting up shops within the area already, and there you go, they're getting ready for what could happen in the next decade should the mine come into operation. So that's where our people along the Sipik River need to realistically start thinking what can they do to help our people out, poor people who don't necessarily go to schools. How can they put up with all these changes that could come into fruition in the next couple of years? We can wait for the government, we can wait for whoever to try and assist there, but sometimes situation will require people who are not necessarily in those places to come and help. If you have a heart for your people, you will try to do something, right? So I'm just saying that. Sorry for getting a bit sentimental there, but yeah. But yeah, those are some of the disadvantages that could come into play should the mine come into operation. But yeah, I'll just leave this note with you. Lots of opportunities that come with lots of possible costs. Yeah. So That's why we had to point out all those disadvantages that we feel are major ones that can arise if the mine comes into operation. Okay, so we come to the part where we give our recommendation for a solution. Okay, so maybe you will be waiting for this part of the video ever since we mentioned it in the captions on social media and also in the part 1 of this video series. So our recommended solution is civics from the area need to start thinking seriously and planning seriously about what they can do for our people back home. Okay, what your children or what you as a child of the Pacific River can do for our people in the village, to cushion the hard negative effects that will come through when the mine starts operating. You need to seriously start thinking, start planning how you can go inside the place again. Now, I leave you more line domicile place. Okay, the government can do so much. The resource operator can do so much. We need a whole involvement of all people. You don't have to be an influential person. I think if you've gone to like an educational institution, or whether it's a technical college, or you're a teacher, or you went to university, or you're a doctor, scientist, or whatever, you have a heart for your people. It would be great to create a business and to see a negative effect, one of these negative effects that we've disadvantages that we've spoken about. See how your business can create a solution for that negative effect there, and then the mine, the Frieda River Limited, the project managers, they will definitely see what you are doing for your people in the community and fund your operation, whatever it is, whether it's trying to mitigate the environmental risks, or the threats to livelihoods, or social conflict and land disputes. You see, this is a whole new market of employment and business operations that, if you see clearly, you can definitely create a business that's in line with your skills and qualifications to create solutions for these disadvantages that we've stated. Risk of foreign dominance in employment contracts and business contracts, cost of living, law and order pressures. You can create a business and help the people in the village on how to get by when those things are produced from the mine being coming into operation. Yeah, so I believe that if that happens, more and more CPICs from the Pacific River come out, create businesses, and try to create solutions through that business to assist the people in the village, feel cushioned from the negative effects of these or that disadvantages from the mine when if it comes into operation. I think it creates a whole different jobs market for our people in the country and people in the Pacific region, both Sundown, Frieda River, and Pacific and Pacific River people. So that's just something to think about when if the mine comes into operation. All right, and that will be a way of holding the project managers of the mine accountable and force them to fund your project, fund your business, which helps them stay relevant in the area, and also you protect your people again through your business. All their needs are addressed through your business. That's providing a solution to mitigating and the risks, the disadvantages should the mine come into operation. So if you have the business mindset, you see things differently. And yeah, this is one of the reasons why I'm meeting it now. This is one of the reasons why we set up our business. So if a need comes up, Mipla will go inside, PNG Recruiter will go inside Lockless, we will help our people. And we are starting it off by creating this video series to create awareness on some of the ways to not make it end up like previous resource conflicts that have occurred in years gone in the history of Papua New Guinea. Let's not get into that area. Let's use our knowledge capacity, human resource capacity to mitigate and solve the risks from the mine in a manageable way that helps our communities benefit and the country benefit, and the project manager, Frieda River Limited, not only benefits, but people in the outside countries, the foreigners, they can see this, how we are managing it, and then it attracts foreign investment, and then apply the same mentality with them again, and you see it just creates all these little economic pools that ultimately help the PNG economy overall benefit in the long run. Then you can look at the price of goods and services start to decrease now, because economy and more right now, because of good governance, good management of all these things that are affecting resource affected areas and the provinces affected by them as well. So yeah, start a business that can not only counter mines negative effects, but allow for it to be sustainable enough to protect you, my people, our children, our children's children from all this negative stuff that we mentioned. Yeah, so that's our recommended solution. You can go and protest number and all that, that's cool, but you will need funding at the end of the day to fund your protest. So Wamba Welo, help your protest be more, kill 10 birds with one stone. Yeah, set up business up and make sure that business tries to solve one of the negatives that we mentioned, one of the disadvantages we mentioned. And this you remain relevant, you remain profitable, your people survive and survive the negative and disadvantages of the mine, and the country benefits as a whole. Win-win situation. Yeah, so there you go. And also, yeah, don't be reliant on the government to make the right decision based on facts and figures. You have to start it. Heads up to everybody who's been doing the all this awareness and all that. The non-profits, the NGOs. Thank you for trying to cast the word along the Pacific River, creating awareness and all that. But hopefully the mine doesn't come into action and production and all that. Or, something tells me that it will still happen, and when it happens, we need to be there to, protect it. And setting up a business to create solutions to resolving the negatives of the mine is one way of staying relevant, of surviving, and staying operational, creating employment, and creating awareness of what the effects are, both good and bad, of the mine. So don't be heavily reliant on the government and your local MP to make the right decision based on facts and figures. Start a business that helps the people's voice be amplified in whatever sector it is, to not only do all that positively, but hopefully influence political influence action. All right. So yeah, if people start taking things into their own initiative, the political decision making will fall into play, and it has to start with us now as people from the CP group. Yeah. So that's our recommended solution. Yeah. So I guess the Civic River is too big of a deal to rush a project through, and all these things need to be taken into account. Okay, and yeah, I don't know. One of my third points that I'd like to put as part of a recommendation for a solution to this the good and bad of the Frieda River Project is also, I'm not sure if somebody can confirm this, but is it possible to have another environmental risk assessment done, just like an updated one, because just to see if the tailings dam can sustain the risk of earthquakes that could occur and cause the tailings dam to crack, and the tailings being leaked into the river and contaminating the river. Is there a possibility to have SEPA do another private environmental assessment, just to see if, just to double check on the doubts or the negatives of that the EIS, and hopefully just make sure that the one that was done last time, I think in 2018, that we can do another environmental report, a recent one, and make sure that it's still okay for the mine to be operational, just to wipe out all doubt, of any safety environmental risks that could occur. But yeah, a call to authorities for possible second EIS to put the rest to everything, as the last EIS was done in 2020. So I don't know if it's possible to do another one, but can we have another one just to put to rest all the doubts? Yeah. Let me know in the comments if this is possible. But yeah, like we said earlier, the Civic River is too big of a deal to rush any project through, and all these doubts, all these negativities that could potentially occur need to be settled and put to rest as much as possible for any concrete thing to occur, whether it's the mine being banned permanently or for the mine to go into operation. So yeah, man, we had to do 2 videos for this topic, but yeah, like we said, we are heavily invested in this project because it's affecting where my parents grew up and were born in, along the Sipik River, Amunti district to be exact. And yeah, it would be great, to be honest, it would be great to have a mining project in the area so we can have some development. But then again, we have to be realistic. There's a lot of safety, environmental risk that comes into effect, and then we mentioned all those disadvantages that come into play. Not necessarily from those environmental and safety hazardous points of topic, but also social and economic and effects as well. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. It's been a pleasure doing a 2-part video series to the Frieda River Project. The first one is part 1 on the benefits of the mine, and this video we can say that it's part 2 of the disadvantages of the Frieda River mining project. So just let me know anytime what your thoughts are, and yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching the video to this end if you're still here. And email us, contact us if you want to do business with us in terms of recruitment, talent acquisition. We can do it for you. All our processes are powered by AI. More comprehensive reporting, more comprehensive turnaround times with real results tailored towards your company and your country, Papua New Guinea's needs. We got it all covered. So feel free to talk to us, and job seekers, we got the job seeker services here. Send us a email. Our email is over here if you can see. I don't know if it's appearing on the screen, but just DM us. It will give you all the details, and we study a little bit about how we can empower you to win in the world of job seeking here in PNG. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. Sol. We'll do another video soon, but stay safe, stay blessed, study hard, walk and walk. Peace.